seat.
And welcome back, everyone, to United Adventure Company presents Adventures of KSL Delta Green live stream. Yeah, we're back for a Friday night fun times with you all. Yes, I am playing a little game on everyone. Who's in the right seat? No one. So let's move everyone around. You're not Agent Kraken, and I'm not the handler.
Not this time.
Oh, I think we just gotta swap these two. And who's not muted?
Not muted?
I'm not muted.
It's me. I'm not muted.
Good.
We're professionals, y'all.
It's been a couple weeks, huh?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I kind of forgot to mute things. I was watching some YouTube videos earlier. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Everyone's so glad you could be here to watch me make just a complete mess of things here. I think we're almost there. I got it. Everybody's in the right place. All right, finally. The stream will catch up momentarily. I want to thank everybody for jumping in. I know it's been a long week. We're back for some Friday night fun times, though. And with us tonight is our usual KSL crew. We're going to be picking up where we left off last session here just momentarily after a couple of quick announcements and thank yous to our Patreon sponsors and supporters. So thanks so much to Nathan, Aaron, Two Wolf Design, and Lord Thorn for all of your support over the channel. We really appreciate it. And to all of our Discord followers as well. If you would like to be a part of the company, either on Patreon or Discord, go down below in the description and click the links below. You can join us there and support the channel in various different ways. Make sure you also hit the like button because you love us so much that you want to like us every time you see our faces, and ring the bell and subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time that we go live. Just like those that have done this month: GKW Geek, Tasha, and Ching Lee. So thanks so much to all of our new subscribers of the month. We want to highlight them and showcase them real quick as we round out the month. And also want to say, just everyone take a moment to think about what the weekend, if you're in the United States, this is Memorial Day, take a moment, think about what this holiday coming up means, and just take that moment to remember what it's all about. It's an important day. It's not just for barbecues and football and fun. This also has a very strong semblance, and you should really take the moment to give it the respect it deserves. So thank you to all those who have served and to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country to celebrate our freedom. We appreciate you in all your efforts to support our freedom. There is our holiday announcement from United Adventure Company as well. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm going to kick it off back up to our handler to pick up where we left off.
Excellent. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So where we left off last time is that the group had taken care of the first to-do on their list, which was to pick up an individual who had been influenced by the local effect that Milwaukee is experiencing. There were some mishaps and mayhems that ensued from that, but you did manage to grab him, bring him to a safe house where you were met by the forces of Delta Green, you presume. They contained the entity, as far as you know, and brought them away. There was an attempt at some interrogation on your part, but you took a rather confrontational tact, which proved to be not quite what you would hope it to be. There were a few attempts at, to your guys' understanding, seemed like magic of some kind. I'm not actually clear to me if you guys have experienced in your efforts as KSL magic before in the past, but for those of you who have, that's pretty plainly what they were using.
I mean, Kellogg's a wizard, so,
You can call yourself a wizard and not actually know how to do magic. So, those are separate things.
He does not call himself a wizard at all.
And he does know how to do magic.
To run with that, to say that. No, he does not.
We all think he does.
Insofar as that friendship is magic, he has no magic.
Yes.
Excellent. So, You disposed of him. The guards were wearing iron. Of course, they did not tell you any of the details why they were wearing iron, but they carted away him. You decided to then turn your attention to the main central element, which is obviously the Milwaukee gas building itself, which seems to be the emanating cause of the changed region around you. You've begun your investigation kind of at the low level. Your wizard, Kellogg, detected that there was latent energy stored in the system at play. Kind of blundered into the construction site, made a hasty retreat back out of there. And that is where you find yourself, is kind of at the front of the building. On the outside of it, I think all of you guys said that you're going to be stepping out. And like previous session, I always want to take the opportunity to delve in a little bit more deeply into the characters themselves and kind of their backstory. And so today's theme, I kind of want to interrogate the spiritual experience that characters may or may not have. Are any of the characters religious? If they are religious, what does that mean for them in working in their current position? And I'm going to start with Kilgore, because Kilgore I can always put on the spot.
Yeah. So, Tasha Kilgore was raised in the Lutheran Church, like all good Midwesterners. I will say that I don't think that Tasha is religious anymore. She is, Mother's Day, Christmas, the days that are expected, especially as her parents, as her mom is aging and getting closer to, one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. She definitely participates more, but it's not one of those mandatory, she's not making the kids go every Sunday or anything like that. And obviously, I mean, Tasha has got a little touch of something that gives her quite the foul mouth. So she's not really, it's not really her scene, but she's there. She doesn't really have a position. She's not ready to say that, it's not true. She's not that person. Just, she has her distance.
Would call herself an agnostic, but is more drifted.
Oh no. She would tell you. No. She would tell you that she's a she's a Lutheran. She would acknowledge that. But
somebody that's kind of like drifted in a way.
Yeah.
Distant from it.
Mother's Day, Easter, Christmas Day. There might be one. If the kids are acting up, well then you know what? We're just gonna have to go to church then. Unless the pack is playing in the early game, in which case you're going to church Wednesday.
Excellent. Okay, awesome. So something distant from Kilgore's mind in general, but still present at the background. From there, Agent Kellogg. What does religious practice look like to Agent Kellogg?
He has a few. He doesn't remember what he was taught growing up. That doesn't hit, but he tends to have book readings at the equinox with his family. They like to go up in the attic, unfurnished, just kind of sitting among the insulation and everything, and he reads certain bits out of books and out of the good book, by which I mean The Rogue Lawyer by celebrated author John Grisham.
Sure.
But yeah, he's always doing that, but he takes solace in the fact that he's pretty sure none of it is real and it's all just pointless. And that's good, because he knows then it can't hurt anyone. Gotcha.
Now, you say with the family, do you have kids that I missed, or?
Yeah, he's got a daughter.
He's got a
daughter. Yep.
Are you together with them still?
Oh yeah, they're always together.
They're always together. Okay, excellent. Is your wife more or less radical than you when it comes to the great book of Grisham's?
She is the kind of the steadying force of it. Is if he doesn't feel it, she'll gently guide him to remember what he needs to do on, the day. She'll remind him if he forgets, like, it's the solstice today.
It's time to read the good book. Okay.
Yeah, she evens him out a little bit.
Gotcha. Would it be out of line then? Does your wife, I don't imagine she's much of a texter, but maybe she sends you daily emails of like quotes or something?
I could buy that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you get daily messages, email, of course, and they're always scheduled. Right. They always show up at 8 a.m. exactly.
She's punctual,
but they're like
if nothing else.
Right. Excellent. Okay. She sends you she can't pack your lunch, but she'll send you a happy message every morning. Okay. Excellent. Next up is people don't have their character names on here, so therefore we're gonna go with Kraken, since that's the.
Oh yeah, I forgot to change my name.
Totally
Sorry.
Fine.
Yeah, so Agent Kraken grew up with hippie-esque parents and just free-spirited, let the kids roam wild, kind of mentality, and that led to them just following the self-guided journey of not necessarily religion, but just exploration and finding oneself, which eventually morphed into this new age neo-shamanism of American culture. So she's big into yoga and meditation and just all of the neo-shamanism things that are happening in American culture. The total appropriation of all of these Eastern cultures into Americanized practices is kind of how she does things, and believes
is
that.
She self-aware at all about that, or is it just like totally?
Oh no, not at all. You mean about the cultural appropriation of what she's doing?
Yeah.
She's completely oblivious to it. Remember,
Okay.
This is the woman that said, "Do you speak English?" to a bunch of Alaskan Eskimos. So.
Perfect.
I mean, completely oblivious to it, and thinks that finding oneself.
There's no self-awareness.
Yeah, but finding oneself is the ultimate answer to the journey, right, of life. Body, mind, soul, laugh, love, live, kind of thing. Person.
And laugh, live, love. Perfect. And have you had any challenging experiences? I can't remember, how many missions have you been on as a part of Delta Green this far?
I'm thinking 4. Yeah, I think it's 4. The initial intake mission, and then we've done 3 as a group. So this would be number 5.
Anything changed for Agent Kraken during their time?
Religiously, you mean?
Yeah.
That is her recovery after missions. After every mission, she will take a break to take a pilgrimage to some Far East land, whether that be, it was Tibet after the Viking steamboat mission. So she will find some Eastern cultural connection and yeah, DC, right? Sure.
Yeah. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, that's her.
Awesome. And then last but no means least, we have Agent Kiwi.
All right, so Kiwi grew up in the mountains of North Carolina. Her family were Baptist, but they were you show up on Sunday for church, and then the rest of the week, like, you don't even think about it sorts of Baptists. When she left to go to college, she basically just stopped with religion altogether. And not long after being in college, she actually joins the chapter of the local atheists. She meets her wife, and her wife is actually a practicing Muslim, but she's very, very, very liberal Muslim. And in the meantime, Kiwi is absolutely convinced that there is no God.
Okay. So. Excellent. That's great context to have. We will see if it comes up. I have an inkling feeling it might, but we shall see. And we'll keep those matters in mind as we dive into the actual adventures of you guys. We're going to kind of hone in on the lot of you standing in front of the Milwaukee gas building, as the day is transitioning into afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. It's a pretty nice spring day outside. And what is your next move?
Lighting a cigarette first off.
I'll bum one of those off of you.
Oh, absolutely, dear.
I'm gonna have to stand upwind of you guys. That's just you don't understand how you do that to your bodies. What did you say something about some?
I do a
energy
lot
flow?
to my body you don't want to know about, sweetie, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's probably better if I don't. What were you saying about energy flows?
First of all, I do have to ask, how do your lungs feel right now? Would you say?
Mine?
No, I don't care about yours. Okay, interesting. Not approved. How about you, Kilgore?
Never been better.
That's worrying. You keep an eye on that. If you do find that you see vast improvements, we have a problem. But no, if you recall, the lobby itself is setting itself to perhaps a particular style too quickly. If you recall, there is that green tint to the verdigris on the material that should not be there on the copper. That is should not be there. It seems to be bringing itself to a certain state, but the fact is, I have no fucking idea. But the point is, it's building up energy, and that's a problem.
So maybe we just take that out.
Great.
I mean, yeah, we can go in there and just scrub it off, right? Like, just get some...
The verdigris? I don't think the verdigris is in itself. It could be the source of it, but it seems unlikely. It seems more like a after effect.
Like a gas tank. We're looking at the gauge on a gas tank.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's not a bad analogy. However, I am interested that the other team used iron. As you obviously know, iron has a fabled history of being a anti sort of how would you put it, magical elements to it. We might be able to sort of lightning rod this area, but I am convinced on the or not convinced, consumed with concern with the people here in the building. If they're changing and improving, that could be a problem as well in case the lobby spreads.
Energy.
Take the piece of rebar that I have and I just kind of scrape it across the pavement to make the noise.
Ugh.
Yeah, that. Please don't do that again.
This old boys.
Please don't do that again.
Although it's not the worst idea. Sonic, interesting.
Energy.
I mean, it's iron, right?
So, I mean, what do we do about this? You know what I say we do? I say we go get a beer about it. And Kilgore is... Our car's parked right there in the parking lot, I'm assuming pretty close.
But
If there was
in the fire lane.
I mean, I would have parked in a handicap spot.
They're in the
too.
parking lot that's adjoining the actual building itself.
Yeah. So Kilgore is going to start walking toward the car and just be like, "We can go get a beer about it."
That sounds a good idea. You know what? I just forgot. If it's a nearby bar, tell me where. I'm going to go take the license plates off of the stolen car that I took from that nice couple.
Who are totally fine.
Why would you want to keep the license plates? A memento?
I'm
For
not
all
going
the
to keep
people
the.
he's run over, yes.
Yes, that is exactly it. I'm going to keep it on my person so that they can easily define that I did it. No, of course, I'm slowing down the law, as it were.
Right. So there's lots of rituals that you can do to. I was reading about, and
You know what? You should talk about that in the bar. Goodbye. Scammers.
Yeah, Kilgore's not waiting on Kraken to finish telling this story. Walks off at a quick clip, gets in the car, and starts it up, and just kind of, slow rolls around towards Kellogg so that Kellogg can finish and get in.
I jump in the front. I'm not sitting next to her. I'm not doing it.
I haven't shut up yet about all the different ritualistic means there are to dispel energy from a place.
Hey,
I've just gone through like 4 different
how many of those crystals do you have on you right at the second? Do you need to go buy a block of Himalayan sea salt? I mean, we can take you to the natural food
So
store
you know how to do
and
this
leave you
too,
there.
right? We can get some sea salt and we just sprinkle the sea salt all the
But
way
it
around
has
the
to be
building.
Himalayan pink sea salt, and it has to be
That's-
bought at the fancy pants.
Not
upper.
really. You can use table salt actually and cleanse it yourself under the light of a full moon on the third month of, and she'll go through this big explanation of how to sanctify the salt to make it usable. But it would work better if we could just pick some malt that was already done, and then we can get 16 crystals and we place them in the exact geometric locations around. And
Is this what Gwyneth Paltrow's taught you in Goop?
oh no, don't even get me started on her. She's a hack.
Okay. And I'm gonna look at Kilgore. You know where we
Kilgore's
can
in
get
the car.
good.
Oh,
I'm in the car now.
Did Kraken get in the car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you got in the car talking about that shit.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll just start
I haven't
turning up
shut
the
up.
radio. Just start turning up the radio.
I could go to. We need to get a good PBR in us. I can't deal with the crystals. I cannot deal with the crystals. Kilgore, we gotta go drink.
I mean, we slow roll up on Kellogg, and so you can come on.
Yeah, he's basically unscrewed the license plates and will drop them in a trash can when he's going out of the building, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll just pull up the nearest bar. Whatever. Just find some little beer box and duck in there, and that's where we can have a conversation. If they're playing music or it's real loud, that's a bonus.
While you guys are kind of driving along here, I just want to clarify my understanding of people here. Kellogg, you've been with Delta Green the longest amongst this, correct?
Probably, yeah. His sanity would attest to that.
Sure. So as you're driving along, you get a message on your phone. It is not listed. It's like an unlisted number. And all it says on it is analysis of specimen complete. You have been approved for protocol Ash John, and Ash John is all in capitals. Supplies are at your safe house. Reading the protocol is tantamount to committing to complete the ritual, is all it says. And you're kind of understanding, I don't think this is probably the second time that you've heard about protocol Ash John. And you understand that it's an oh shit button.
Repeat that for me. It's a what?
Oh shit button.
It's an oh shit button.
Got it.
Oh hell no! Hit the button like that.
Yeah.
So you just get this text message on your phone while you're all driving to this dive bar.
Oh, excellent. They've approved us to do the worst possible option. Neat. Neat.
But you just kind of push it out of your mind. You guys have a safe house set up in one of the suburbs of Milwaukee that you guys can stay at. They didn't specify that you have to go pick it up right this instant, but it just is letting you know that is there and that you've been approved for it. So whenever you guys decide that you want to retire for the night, there is a house set up in a random suburb of Milwaukee for you.
Yeah, he'll share that he has this information of a fascinating ritual. I don't believe I've actually had the joy to partake in it. I usually stay far away from such things, lest my reputation grow. But if worst comes to worst, we could always try that. I would prefer an easier solution that does not involve us engaging in what we could call magic.
I would think out of anybody here, you'd be the one to be jumping on that opportunity.
I've seen enough magic. I don't usually like to have parts in it.
Magic's not so bad. It can be very good. I've seen it done. The good stuff, I once was at this ritual one time, and there were all of these called themselves Wiccans, and they did this like fire dance, and they were celebrating the return.
Did
of the
you all
sun
kiss each
and-
other afterwards? I remember doing that when I was in 10th grade too. So
I think she's talking about
and
Burning
as a
Man.
matter of fact, oh, there were drugs. I also remember 11th grade. Anyway, so as a matter of, you know, we've got this thing. It's a pretty quick solution, right?
What I know is the Astron Ritual quick.
So your understanding of the Astron Ritual is it's a very bad option. They have authorized it as a result of their analysis of the specimen that you provided to you, but there is no guarantee what you will find inside of the instructions for the ritual itself. And when I'm going to add to the lore of Kellogg that this was on your first mission, and the person that got it authorized basically said, the last time I had a ritual authorized for me to use, I wound up having to kill 3 members of my team to enact it. And so I'm not opening that unless I fucking have to.
Well, that doesn't seem like a problem to him, but he won't share.
Just not gonna
share
keep
that
that
with
bit
us.
to myself.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers work, so whatever.
Continue to discourage the use of it, but
No,
young little psychopathic Kellogg's like, oh, that doesn't sound like a problem to me at all. You're still here, aren't you?
I'm rocking around 20 sanity, so oh, I'm sorry, 16 sanity. So I mean, it's not ideal, but I don't have a bond with any of these folks. So, you know, if worse comes to worse, that we can read the ritual, and I'm probably just insane enough to try it. But that could be plan. We'll call it Plan B.
Okay, so what's Plan A? The
well, that's what we're here to find out, sweetheart.
Well, how can you have a Plan B if you haven't already got a Plan A? You people just don't know how to plan.
Plan A is to avoid Plan B.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense.
There we go.
Yeah.
So what do you recommend that we do?
Go to Plan B. I'm kidding. Realistically, if we make some assumptions, and why not? Why don't we? The lobby itself seems to be the renovation of the lobby seems to be a driving factor. So halting that in some fashion might help, but it needs to be a long-term solution.
Do we need to deface the lobby?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
I mean, shouldn't we try and figure out what the fuck it is they're trying to do first? I'm just
Be
saying.
safer.
I mean, you know, they didn't send us out here just to blow a fucking building up. Anybody could have done that. I mean, shit, they did the fucking Twin Towers in New York. So, you know, maybe we try to figure out. We did get plans when we were in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I remember that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the plans. So, and she looks down, she starts flipping through the plans and looks down, and she's like, so who exactly is in charge of this? And she's going to read I'm assuming they have their name on the plans.
Grundon and Erg, right?
Yep, exactly.
So they're going to have, Grundon and Erg, but we have like I'm talking about who put these together. Like, you know, you have an architect, like someone drew these.
Yeah, the architect, the lead architect, the lead architect on the project is William Erg.
Oh, Mr. Erg himself, it looks like. So maybe we need to go see what Billy's doing tonight.
That sounds excellent. The weakest spot in any project is the people.
Are you Googling? Well, I suppose we're in 2015, right? Is that our given age?
Yeah.
Are you Googling him at all, or are you just looking, like, how are you going to find out where he lives?
Yeah, I'm assuming we would have to
look him up on Facebook.
Yeah, if we look him up, we can fairly easily follow him out of his place of employ should we find it.
I'd do a little Google get to know you time.
Well, the
Yeah.
address to the architects is right here on the plans. And Kraken will point to the address. It's stamped right here on the vertical edge of the plan. Here's where their building is.
Kilgore and Kiwi, when you guys go to look up William Erg, you recognize him as the older person that was with the young man that you kidnapped.
Damn,
What?
that's
Take a look
unfortunate.
at, what do you think this means, Kilgore?
I think this means that if that's Mr. Erg, then it's the other fella that we just got rid of must be the whatever the fuck. What's the name?
You think he stuck his son in that building to see what would happen?
No, I think his partner.
Yeah.
I think he stuck his partner in that building.
And you think that's
you do some
who the
Googling
kid
and
was.
you can make the connection that the kid is a stepson of his. You guys.
Oh,
just
it's a
little bit of
stepson?
Googling. It's a stepson.
I didn't know if maybe it was like,
Yeah,
you know, a
so he didn't
Benjamin
like
Button.
he didn't like his stepson. He stuck him in there knowing that this thing was going to change him, and he hoped it was going to fix him because this would have been with most of them, but it just made him more fucked up.
I mean, he could have tried hitting him harder.
Maybe he tried that before he stuck him in there. I mean, we just don't know. And at this point, going and talking to him is probably not something that you and I can do, which means we have to send these two to do it. And we know how well that's going to go.
Why would we show him our face when we go and talk with him? Are we not kidnapping him? We're trying to do something like quietly? Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
Kilgore pops her knuckles and it's just like, oh, I mean, he won't be able to see a goddamn thing if we don't want him to.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I'm sorry, I think I missed a step here. I was reading the menu and these I don't like the way they put these in the in order. I really wish they'd put the burger after this. Whatever, it doesn't matter at the moment. No, why are we thinking that he put his child in here? Stepson?
Stepfathers often don't like their stepchildren, and they're
Then why was
oftentimes
he at the
alcoholic and
hospital?
abusive. And so she's going to rattle
boy.
off all of these like
Oh, boy.
stereotype things. That,
Oh dear, I think we've just discovered something about Agent Kraken.
Unless,
Oh, sweetie,
unless the corruption is happening somewhere else. But if this is the architect and his son was found near the gas building, the corrupted gas building, then it stands to reason that he put him in there for some reason or took him there for some reason.
Did
He may not have
also-
known. He may not have known what the fuck it was gonna do. He's just following plans of some other sort. He does not seem like the wizardy type. You know, he didn't have any sleeves or robes. You know,
He could be controlled.
or he could just be taking orders.
Did you were up close and personal with him? But what was your read on him as a human being?
He seemed genuinely upset about his son.
He walked on two legs, drew breath. I mean,
Better than his son.
Yeah. That kid wasn't walking anywhere.
yeah, I don't think he necessarily did it and knew what the hell was going on. It may have been like he may have tried to do like a little quality check, and turns out, you shouldn't be fucking around with magic half-ass. Also, when I want my kids to unload the dishwasher, it's a lot easier if I tell them that I can't cook dinner until the dishes are unloaded than it is to yell at them. So maybe there's something he's trying to get from finishing all of this.
Perhaps, but I guess my primary thought here is if his son, maybe the corruption happened somewhere else. Maybe the corruption's at the office or even at their home, and it affected his son that way, given the son was found near the building. So I don't know. I think we go talk to him. And if y'all want to wear pantyhose on your faces and, carry baseball bats, that's up to y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we
we could talk to him about his inspirational choices for the renovation. We could maybe pose as reporters of some kind for a construction magazine.
I just kind of like narrow my eyes and stare at Kraken. You look like a reporter, sure. Okay.
It works in the movies. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong.
But I'm partially wrong. Which part?
I don't know if you look like reporters for an architect magazine, especially that you'd be showing up uninvited. But you know, maybe you guys are reporters of a different sort doing a you know, like a little paranormal investigation, or maybe, you know, a little Forbes action here.
Who you think I look like? I could be from Forbes? Ooh.
No.
Oh, not you.
Oh.
Agent Kellogg. You look like you could make someone's. You would be a very good assistant. I bet you would get the latte orders right every fucking time.
I do take good notes.
Well, Kellogg.
I bet.
If Kellogg smiles, the whole thing is going to go to shit, because I don't know if you've noticed, but his teeth are filing the points now.
That's an interesting look. You okay. Yeah.
Maybe I
you
should
know
do
what?
the talking then. Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. I'll do the talking. He could be my assistant. And we can maybe set up an appointment somewhere away from the office, so you all could be like waiting nearby. If we have to grab him, we grab him and go. The park. Perfect. There's a like city park here, right?
Why don't we just make an appointment in his office so we can see his office too?
I mean, if you want to be there, that puts us at the scene of the crime if there's a crime to be made.
I mean, we don't have to talk to him and snatch him up by his hair at the same time, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to accommodate everyone. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by leaving anyone out of the plan.
Yeah. And in the interest of pointing out obvious details that you might not see from not being in there, it's probably unlikely that he's going to take any appointments anytime soon, considering his stepson was just kidnapped and is presumably dead. So you could probably meet with his fellow architect, but I doubt you're going to be able to meet with him direct, like arrange something to meet with him.
Good point.
Yeah,
Although we could
fine.
use that to our advantage.
And
I
just
mean,
break into the office at night.
Forbes doesn't know that his stepson is all fucked up. When we call to make the appointment, we're going to talk to whoever's available. That's who they're going to want to interview.
Oh, that's good, because then you two can actually interview, because he doesn't know that you're the, tackler. And then, no, wait, that was Kraken. Never mind. They don't know you're the, what'd you say you did? Electrician?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electrical
Grundon wouldn't
inspector.
know that. Yeah, he wouldn't know that. So you could actually be the face.
All right. No. I don't think I got the fucking I don't have the fucking personal skills.
It's fine. I can do it.
There we go. Kiwi's always had what you would call a good bedside manner.
Awesome. You are pulling up on your cellular device the office of Grundon and Erg. You are punching in the details, and your cover story is that you are working for Forbes magazine, looking to interview him for what reason?
The design inspiration for this building and the financial success it should bring his firm.
And yeah, how it's influencing this kind of new design style could be influencing Forbes Milwaukee is very interested in how the gas building design is influencing architecture in the surrounding areas, and wanted to talk to him about where they got their inspiration, what direction they see this going in, etc.
And how it can impact business overall. That whole kind of Forbes being a business magazine.
Yeah, for sure. So as the person putting in the call, just trying to remember. Sorry, hang on. Nope, I have too many tabs open, clearly.
Yep, I understand that feeling.
Okay. Agent Kiwi, what skill are you trying to leverage in using this, and what is your level in it?
I am going to use, I guess, when I call human to get a feeling for how they react and then respond to them in such a way that is likely to get the outcome that I want, which is to get them to allow me to come in for an in-person interview the next day.
Yeah. So which skills are you using?
Human.
Okay. And what's your rank in it?
63.
63. Yeah, you can just do it then. You can set up an interview. You call a receptionist. It's just on the tail end because it's an architecture. It's an architecture firm, so it closes pretty early. You catch them just on the tail end as they're leaving. You talk to a receptionist, and they arrange kind of like a video interview for the next day, like a phone call. They say you can show up if you want to. You don't necessarily have to, but they're happy to accommodate whatever it is that you need.
I plan on being there in person. I'd like to take a look around the offices as well, if at all possible.
Yeah, they're pretty happy to accommodate you with this. You just catch them just as they're leaving the office, so they're like, whatever, yeah, sure, that's fine. He's got space on his. They just throw you on the meeting. It's the next day.
Okay.
So yeah, awesome. You get it set up for the next day, and the meeting is at 11 a.m.
All right, and I'll fill everybody in.
Excellent. Could I suggest, you had mentioned prior that you saw these other teams with iron-based things. Might I suggest that we go procure some iron things in the meantime?
I haven't heard you say anything sound that good since yesterday when I saw you. So, best thing you've said since I've seen you this time.
Excellent. Actually, I think that's a personal record.
It might very well be.
All right. I want to get some iron wire, some iron nails. What else we thinking?
I've
You said
never
there
heard
was
of
a
the iron
crown?
wire.
Yeah, there's iron wire. I didn't think there was such a thing either, so I googled.
Oh yeah, I have a friend that uses it to make bracelets and jewelry out of. It's like this flexible iron. Yeah, it's totally a thing.
Yeah, I know what wire is. Thanks.
Well, it's not like, an electrical wire.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like every wire. I understand.
Yeah,
Awesome.
let's just go get some wire, and then I will just spool it around my waist and my wrists and my neck and hope for the best.
We could do you up like one of those Egyptian queens with the big neck thing. Those are all like really ragey these days.
No, I just need something that kind of sort of looks like a janky necklace. That's it.
Oh, I can do that easy. I make those all the time. While my machines are running, I just
don't put one of your crystals on it. I don't want that thing touching my skin.
Well, they're not mine. They come from the earth.
They're God's crystals.
Well,
Well,
that means I want
kind
them
of.
touching me even less. Okay.
So yeah, we can go get some wire. I know of a great craft shop. We can go to.
Can't we just go to Home Depot?
I was gonna go to Menards.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
the
man.
same craft
we,
shop?
we have some more discussion about where you're going to acquire the wire from. And
Yeah, please.
you
Let's.
guys can get any other supplies that you guys want as long as they're mundane. Is there anything else you want to grab?
When you say mundane, a tank is mundane.
I want to get
Yeah. I want to get muriatic acid. It's used to clean floors.
Sure.
can buy it.
You can have as much muriatic acid as you can drink.
That's
it
not a
only
lot.
takes it only takes a yeah, it only takes a
Teaspoon.
little bit to just shut down a whole area. You gotta
Yeah,
I'll
but
get
you can
respirators also.
down a bunch of muriatic acid before it hit you. This is like a lag
I
time.
mean, you're right.
What
you
an
could.
interesting metric for measuring acid, and I like it. It's scary, but I like it.
Speaking of which, you get to the safe house and you find the supplies that I talked about. There's the Astron Protocol, which you are familiar with from before. It is simply a presentation. What is that word? A slate blackboard. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet. 3 pieces of chalk that has a yellow hue to it, and a red. It almost looks like a Christmas sack, like a small one, and it's full of ashes.
See, is there instructions as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
Also,
okay.
there is a small mylar packet satchel. It seems like vacuum sealed, and it has one of those pull ribbons, and it says "Only open if you mean it."
Well, that's some very handy, useful directions right there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play around with the video recorder that I just bought just to make sure that it all works right.
Yep, perfect. Do you guys want to do anything else then for the night?
I will go and practice my yoga and meditation for the night, setting up my sea sounds in the backyard.
Make it a point to stay as far away from Kraken as possible.
Oh, and then when I'm done with that, I will make the necklace that I promised for Agent Kiwi, and I will completely wrap in it a pink amethyst crystal, but it will be completely wrapped in iron, so she won't be able to see it. It'll just look like this ball of iron at the base of the necklace.
Okay. Excellent. Any other activities people are indulging in?
Yeah, I'm gonna call home and talk to my kids about the football and the basketball and the hockey that's they're all getting ready for, and the wrestling. I mean, you've got wrestling 9 months out of the year, so there's always
Oh yeah, are you one of those
conversation
overactive
about
parents that have them sign up for it's like spring, so
I don't sign them up. They're just good kids. They just want to do. That's just how they live their fucking lives, like goddamn maniacs. You think I want to be driving everywhere? Shut the fuck up. And then I'll talk to my husband and see how driving everywhere is going. And
So what thing about, I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't tell them what you're doing, right? Am I crazy about that?
No, I mean,
No, you want me to
so I just work in HR. They don't need to know exactly what it is I'm doing. So yeah, we're good.
So I guess what I'm curious about is what question do you have to lie about that your husband asks you? Because you're out of town, right? So
yeah, he is aware that I'm in HR. He gets it. But for the kids, mom just
most HR doesn't travel though, so I'm kind of curious
right.
what you.
So Tasha,
I'm an on-site HR.
Tasha's just like, listen, Carl, I know that well, hold on. Quick question. I think the more appropriate question is, how hard does he press?
I think he doesn't press, but he loves you and he wants to know what you're doing. And so he doesn't press you, right? It's not like you're an orange that's being squeezed.
Right.
You're somebody who is loved by another human and wants to know what you're doing because they genuinely care about you. And therefore you have to lie about them like the sack of shit you are.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, sometimes they've got these difficult cases where they need someone that understands the bureaucracy and all of the ins and outs of HR so that we can actually track what they're doing here in order to launder money, because there are so many fucking social security numbers. And if I see another one, I'm just going to fucking kill that person just so that there's one less. Because goddamn, if they're not going to find me and ask me to look it up and get into it all. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's a real fucking nut roll up here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's willing to accept that, and he's very supportive, and he's saying, I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. I hope your other cases aren't going to, bring you so far away. I hope that you can do this mediation over the phone next time. But, you can kind of feel that that the longing in his voice, that he's like sad that you're gone, and that sort of not like I'm angry at you that you're gone, so much as I'm sad that you are gone in his voice, as he's like saying that he hopes that you don't take so many remote missions next time.
I don't think that I think he might also be sad about the fact that Tasha engages in other activities that she sometimes travels for, and so she's always, in and out. She usually will be out 1 or 2 nights, in a month anyway. And so I think the fact that she's already gone away and came back, and then she had to go back away so quickly, it's probably also kind of impacting that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you're just kind of struck with your conversation with him with this kind of like sense of longing, and that's the kind of the residual feeling you get as you hang up the phone for the night. Agent Kraken is retiring, disappearing. You only see half of Kraken's face most of the time, like just like the top part, like here, as they're kind of like, crouched over a laptop whenever they aren't directly in the field, kind of lit by that like soft blue light. Agent Kiwi, you have do you call your spouse very much while you're out and about, or do you just are you guys just texters?
We're mostly texters.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you guys just have a nice text conversation. You guys send each other a bunch of, not TikTok because it's 2015. You send each other a bunch of YouTube videos that you kind of while away the night, which I imagine is one of the ways that you guys spend time apart together, sort of thing.
Yeah, funny cat photos. Yeah. We have 5 cats, so.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't imagine that there's a lot of conflict with you guys right now. Were you guys met in person, but you guys are a lot better at like being in a relationship digitally? Does that seem reasonable, or?
We are good either way, typically. She also knows that I tend to be rather closed down and secretive, and that's just the way I've always been as a person. So, she doesn't take it any kind of way that, I may not be forthcoming with what I'm doing. It's just I've never been one to really share a whole lot of personal detail. So doing the digital thing and just the smoochy faces and cute cat photos and hearts is enough.
Excellent.
She would probably get upset if I was gone more than 4 or 5 days and didn't get more than that, but for a couple of nights, that's fine and expected.
Excellent. And finally, we have Kellogg. Your wife vows you up. You have to read the nightly scripture to the boys. Grisham, they want to.
I don't have boys. Chapter. I have a daughter.
A daughter.
Who are the boys? Who are the boys? Sabrina, you have to tell me.
How did this happen?
Yeah. What?
I've only been gone a day.
Yeah. The milkman again?
That was quick.
Your daughter wants to hear the next chapter of the Grisham novel, and you do your nightly reading over the phone.
So I'm real quick. You said that we're in the safe house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
You're fine. So we're going to take a 30-minute break as Kellogg reads Grisham novel chapter to us all.
Okay. Well, I will say I think there is a moment of interruption when, like, yep, he has to do that. He has to do the reading. This is important for a child's upbringing. But then on the other line, you hear his wife run into the room being like, Sebastian, you have to call your mother. You have to call your mother. And he calmly hangs up and picks up, and then there's just static on the other line that he talks to for a while.
Oh, okay. Not at all creepy.
Just so you know. Yeah, just so you know.
Yeah, there's some flavor. Once you finish up talking to the static, I don't know why, but I imagine Kellogg goes to bed completely clothed. I don't know. That's the first thing.
Like,
That's probably accurate, actually. He probably
changes his tie.
yeah, he actually spruces up for the first time of the day to go to sleep.
Gotta look your best in case you're awakened in the middle of the night.
Yeah. What if I die in my sleep? Then this way they could just put me into the crate and put me in the water, and away I go.
Let me put on my night tie.
The last one choked me a little bit too much when I was sleeping. So, this one's got an elastic band, so I sleep weird. It doesn't choke me out.
But the real question is, does he wear socks while he showers?
I don't think any of us are ready for that level.
The question is, how many socks does he wear while he showers?
The question is Agent Kiwi gonna go look to see if he wears socks?
No,
You know she is.
No, she's not. She's just going to assume.
So that HR nightmare aside,
Yeah. There's things you don't want to know about your cellmates. That's all.
excellent. All of you guys go to sleep. It is only like a 2-bedroom, so you guys, like, one of you are sprawled on the floor, one of you is on a couch. There is 2 beds. Kellogg always manages to get one of the beds. And as you go to sleep, I'm kind of curious for 2 things. Kraken and Kellogg. Do either of you dream regularly, or are you like just entering a black void kind of person?
That's a good question.
How much trauma did you experience in childhood?
Yeah. No, Kellogg's completely blank, and I mean, he wakes up feeling like a different person every day. Like, I'm glad I went to sleep and somebody else took my place. I love it.
The dream we all live.
That checks out.
What about you, Kellogg?
Yeah, Kellogg will dream.
Kraken,
Kraken will dream. Typically, it's altered memories of childhood or significant events that have gone slightly different. And here recently, those dreams have been getting worse and worse. Not so much nightmarish, but the events are changing more dramatically. So instead of, a birthday party with all our friends, it's a birthday party just with mom and dad, or that kind of thing. So the loss of connections and the exceedingly great loss of sanity is starting to play a role in her subconscious during her sleep cycle.
So as the 2 of you guys go to sleep, the rest of you guys are fine. So Kilgore and Kiwi, for better or for worse, you're going to be not in this particular part, but Kellogg, you drift into that black void that you have become so familiar with, that kind of calming nature. And what's kind of frustrating to you at first is as you have your eyes closed tightly, you occasionally have these phantasms that appear in your eyes, similar to when you have a bright light that is flashing in your eyes and you close your eyes and you still see the residuals of that. Normally you're able to turn off and enter the darkness of your mind. But instead of that, these flashes of residual vision begin to swarm and dance around the periphery of your mind. And, just when you think that you're going to okay, well, I need to go take a walk or something, I need to do something about this, like when you're annoyed at not being able to sleep, you realize that you are immobile and you realize that you've slipped into slumber in that sort of I'm not in control of my body sort of way. And your consciousness still lingers as you fall into these kaleidoscopes of lights around you. And it's almost like it's exactly like you're just falling straight down and through these lights that kind of surround you. And I think you'd have enough presence of mind to notice that they are copied in 4-fold around your field of vision as you're falling through them. Agent Kraken, it is not unfamiliar for you to fall asleep at your keyboard and a laptop. And this time for you, it is kind of like a strange falling asleep at the keyboard, because it isn't so much of you like falling asleep in that transition that occurs so much as the words and numbers that you are staring at your screen, managing your different accounts. They begin to like slide into one another, like, individual worms of the H's and L's, the long appendages of them begin to crawl along the screen, forming a different image in front of you. And it's almost as if you're like falling into your screen. And as you do so, you as well have this falling sensation, and you realize that you are in slumber. You like can't move yourself away from the screen. And as you're kind of like staring and falling into the screen, the picture on the screen resolves into your old high school that you once attended. It sounded as if you had a tumultuous school. So we're going to say that this is on the first day of school back to high school when you were joined to a new step parent, and you are still uncertain. You had to move across the country. The school is completely normal. You find yourself on an empty street at the front of the school. It is a big, boxy building. The one thing that you don't recognize is that they're almost like towers at each of the corners of this square building that was once your high school. And they stand up towering, and they have like points on each of them. You can kind of see the two that are most immediately in front of you on the front face of this high school. There's two, and you just kind of see barely kind of over the length of the building, you can see that there's a pair of other towers that kind of spiral, poke up in the back of the building. The street itself that this high school is on is empty, with the exception of a very well-dressed Agent Kellogg just like laying on the ground. And like you're familiar with this, how he actually sleeps is just like his arms down at his side. But you realize that you are a young girl. You are a teenage yourself. And all these sensations and realizations come to you, and you regain these sort of sensations in your bodies.
So I can feel like I can move again. As all of this kind of comes, I'm gonna run over and kind of try to wake up Kellogg in this, or look at him and see if he's asleep or just laying there comatose. What?
Yeah, you like go run over, and that's when Kellogg, you come to. It's just like there's this occluding presence on your vision, this fuzzy like figure, and eventually it resolves into like a young Agent Kraken like looming over you. Your eyes refocus, and you find yourself laying on the street. You can feel the gravel underneath behind you, and it's almost startling the amount of vivid detail. Especially for somebody who's not used to dreaming. There's this realness to it that is almost unsettling.
Kellogg, you're with me on my spirit journey, it looks like.
And he just kind of sits bolt upright.
Yeah.
It's does okay. Like that crunch sit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sometimes these things happen together for a reason. It's important that we're together. And I'll look, that's kind of when I'll look down and realize, because he's probably looking at me like, you look familiar, but not exactly.
Yeah, right.
And I'll kind of take a moment to assess myself, and I'll see I'm wearing like, high school clothes, and wait, this isn't right. I'm not me. I'm me, but like 10 years ago. Or actually, 15 years ago. I had to look at my age real quick. 15 years ago. Maybe this is when it all started.
Would you describe this as a more perfect version of yourself?
Well, I thought I was pretty perfect back then. Yeah, absolutely.
That's unfortunate. And he's standing up. Where are we?
We're in my old high school town.
And
everything is as you remember it, Agent Kraken, with the exception of the like, say it's Palmona High School or whatever the high school name for the place that you're at, and like underneath it, the tagline is different. And it simply says, "Enter the fourfold castle."
Yeah, but this is not right. This is different. This is... We weren't the castle. We were the Wildcats. So we weren't knights or anything. This is wrong. This is different.
No, it's the alternate plane. We clearly have made some mistake. Perhaps we're just more attuned than the other two towards this sort of.
Do you think they could be here
hypergeometric.
somewhere? Maybe we should go look for them. They should be here somewhere.
That is a fair point to make.
Do you think they're inside?
We might as well look. It is possible he's kind of dusting himself off as he's standing. I hate to walk around in my sleepwear. It feels wrong somehow. You said there are towers at the edge of this. So like at the corner where the walls meet, right? Not
Right.
the
At the corners
okay.
of the square building that would be the high school itself.
Yeah.
This is a high school that was made, kind of in more modern times, where there wasn't very much attention paid at all to like the aesthetics of it. It is a very functionally driven building. It is essentially a long rectangle where the majority of facilities are going to be held. And there are towers that stand to the left and the right of the entrance itself. As they go up, they become more decorated. The facade itself is brick and rather unadorned and like very modern in its simplicity. And as they become taller, there's more filigree and motifs that decorate it until you can see the top of it. And, Kraken, as you're like looking at Kellogg, who's looking at it, you're like, does it have an extra floor on it? You can see that the very top is like, has these like very fanciful curlicue designs. It has like a black slate roof, and there seems to be like designs cut into the slate itself, but it's far enough away that you can't quite see.
I am. Oh, go ahead.
I want to take a minute though and look at Kellogg. Does he look younger or better? Like more together, more.
Kellogg looks perfectly like Kellogg.
Okay, so I'm the only person that's like changed. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not seeing.
Think if you like take the time to like stare at him and like Kellogg, like this will be a little bit maybe not perturbing to you. You're in a dream, whatever.
It might be awkward.
But, like Kraken
Things
just, like,
are weird. Yeah.
at you. And to you, Kraken, as you're staring at him, at the cuffs or at any location where skin intercepts fabric, you see this crackly like design appear around it. It's almost like TV static makes up the seams of his outfit.
Almost like it's like projected on him almost.
Correct. Yep.
I'm not gonna mention that right away. I'm gonna file that away.
He almost seems less real than the rest of the group.
Okay. If he seems less real, then after we've talked for a minute and interacted and we've said, okay, let's go inside, and we've decided we're going to go inside or wherever we're going to go together. Like if you look apprehensive.
Let's do one lap, considering that I assume, did you wake up in the gravel as well?
Yeah, I woke up on the road here. Yeah.
Let's do a quick lap, make sure the other two aren't here, and then perhaps enter what I assume is, in fact, the fourfold castle. This appears to be a very square building, ornate. I'm assuming...
Wait, you remember those little things in high school that you used to do with the numbers and stuff? And we called those fourfolds because when you opened them up, they folded in 4 different directions, and you could actually change the shape with them from a square to a diamond to a rectangle. Interesting. And I will reach my hand out and grab Agent Kellogg's hand like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like a kid would. Like a young teenager would be like, okay, let's go, friend. Not in a romantic way, but like a friend. Okay, I trust you. Let's go together.
Platonically.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Kellogg looks a little lost anyways. He's kind of trying to come to grips with is this real or not? Because he's never 100% sure.
And that's part of the reason that Kraken is reaching out to just make sure that Kellogg
okay.
is real. I want to feel, because he looks almost projected in, so I want to make sure he's real. Does that make sense?
As you guys like step and start circling the building, it is as you remember it. The only difference is that those towers that I mentioned, the surrounding houses, you know, there were a few houses that were kind of on the outskirts of the house, the high school itself. You know, there's baseball diamonds that kind of surround it, and in the backyard especially. What is kind of concerning to you as you're walking along is that you have this sensation of being like watched from the building itself. And like when you turn your vision to like actually look at the building, you just get these snippets of, there seems to be creatures inside of the high school running along the windows. And it's hard for you to catch them because it's almost as if the creatures are made out of broken shards of glass themselves. And so you only catch the reflections of their movements as they kind of like skitter along the halls. They seem rather low to the ground, but like, you know, you look to stare at them and they move and shimmer and disappear.
You see that?
I
I don't know if we can trust our eyes in this place. That didn't look real to me.
If we're dreaming, this is a dream, right?
It's a dream or a journey.
Either that or I was thrown out of time and you're foreseeing the future. You did say Foursquare, which is divination magic. I really have to suggest you don't do that. And actually, there's a few things I should warn you about, considering I'm from the future.
Relevant at this time that you can.
We need to wake up.
Pinch me. Maybe that'll wake. Maybe pain will wake me up.
I mean, he pinches you hard.
Of course.
Sure.
On the
I'll wake
same
you
spot
up if
on
I
the
wake
arm
up.
he bit you.
Exactly. Does that have any effect? Do I feel pain?
Yeah, it hurts like a bitch. It has this weird sensation though, like it doesn't hurt where it's supposed to, like he pinches you, but it like hurts on your like leg.
That was weird. That doesn't make sense. Leg bone's not connected to the shoulder bone.
Yes. Well, if we consider what we know of people that have ended up accidentally, perhaps in this other universe, this is a more perfect universe, and we will soon lose our mind and be angled together into. Are you aware of the game Pickup Sticks? It's something like that.
Yeah. Dump them all out and pick them all up. Yeah. This is because we were too close to that thing, I bet.
Yes. It would seem that passing through that lobby in some fashion might have done this.
Did the others go into the construction area? I don't think they did. I think they stayed outside. They didn't come inside the tarp wall, did they?
I believe you may be correct. We have entered the transitional lobby. But
As
it
you
is
guys are talking, like the building itself, like you like lost focus on the building.
Yeah.
And you know, the focus is kind of a weird thing in this space here. And as you're like talking, you realize that you're in front of the high school again, and you're like on the front steps. You're like on the steps, and the door is like right there next to you. And you hear this kind of like staticky noise around you, and you realize it's emanating from the doors. And the door is like, you know, Kraken. It's really weird because you remember as a kid, you have this sensation of like different senses of space. And you remember the door being higher because it like sticks out in your mind. Like, you know, as you're growing up and getting larger in size, like you have this different relationship with space.
Yes.
And so you're like weirdly acutely aware that the doorknob is like perfectly at your height. It's not at the height that it was. It's like a little bit lower to accommodate you almost.
It's almost like it knew we were coming.
It knew you were coming.
Or knew I was coming. Wait, if we go through here, what happens if you can't go? What if this is just about me? You have to wake me up. This is my dream. You have to wake me up.
Slaps her in the face. Did that work?
You just slap a child.
He's going, runs over old people, slaps a child. He doesn't discriminate.
He's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going for the surprise, like when something shocking in a dream happens. Because you knew the pinch was coming. I don't know that the slap.
I was just like, you have to wake me up, and just pow. That didn't work.
You go to slap her, and Agent Kraken, you wake up. Kellogg, you are left in this space. Like as you slap him, it's almost like your hand goes through air, and you are left on the stoop of this room, of this high school that you don't recognize. You have no place here. And you kind of feel it in a way.
How do I wake up?
You wake up drooling on your keyboard.
Not startled, shaken, any memory of the dream at all?
I think you have perfect memory. Well, you initially have perfect memory of the dream. And it is a painful experience because you wake up perfectly remembering what the dream was. And then it begins to slide out of your brain like, intestines on a piece of concrete as they just kind of slide along there and disappear from your mind. The memories of what once was. And all you can think of is like, all that you can recall is like 4 points. 4 points. Like, you're trying to keep all these elements in your head, my high school, the location, Kellogg was there, and 4 points. And like each of those things, different elements disappear. Kellogg disappears, the high school disappears, and all you can remember is 4 points.
I'm going to grab my dream journal and flip to the first open page and just scribble down anything that I can remember about it. And if that's all that I can remember by the time I get my dream journal, then that's all I'm going to write down.
I think you can write down some of the overall outline. And we'll say for the sake of dramatics that you remember all the things that I described to you, but you know that there are other things that happened in the dream that you don't remember.
Yeah. Damn it. I can't remember what that was about. Yeah. I'll like bullet ties, the high school, the points, Kraken. And when I get to Kraken, I'll be like, or not Kraken, to Kellogg. Why do I call you me?
We've been in the same dream. We're the same.
We're in time. We're in dream time. So Kellogg, you're standing by yourself in front of the door to the high school.
I wonder if this is where I went. As he walks towards the door, and he has to lean down a little bit then to get that doorknob. Yeah, he'll open it. And
as you open the door, you have this sensation. It's almost like when you walk through spider webs, and you can, for a second, have this extra dimensional sense of the spider webs as you pull on things, and you feel the things that the spider web are connected to. And in the same manner, as you pull open the door, you almost feel these threads of spider web connected to the points of the four corners of the building itself, and they almost pull inwards on itself. And once again, you find yourself falling into this kaleidoscopic view as the points fall and point inwards towards you. And as you're doing this, there is a kaleidoscopic plane, but it's a place. This kaleidoscope of color that I see, the 4 points, it's not just colors. This is a place, and things exist and live within it. And you, Kellogg, could live in this place. You could join the 4 pointed figures that crawl and walk along this place. Their broken shards of glass are not, in fact, shards of glass. That is just, an insufficiency of your vision to see all the facades and surfaces that make up their body. And if only you could join, and then that's when you wake up. You're just on the cusp of realizing how you too could join these 4 pointed figures and be like them when you wake up.
Wakes up crying, just in bed, arms down by his side, dressed up.
Excellent. And that's where we'll take our break for the evening. That I think we have our midpoint break. Why don't we take 10 and then we'll regroup with Kilgore and Kiwi.
Do we have any sand rolls we need to make for that? Not to be
Yeah,
teacher,
you know,
teacher, but
that feels like a good time. You got it.
you forgot our homework, teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shock. I failed. Who could imagine?
Okay. Can you take a d6 of sand damage?
Oh, darn.
bet.
I failed too.
Can you take a d6 of sand
Okay,
damage?
a four. More's the pity, but I did hit another breaking point. So
Oh, good.
I'll think of a
Just love
disorder.
that.
Colorblind now.
That's 2. So
I have an additional thing, but we will return to that as you guys wake up in the morning and resolve with everyone else. And I'll let Kraken announce our break then.
fantastic. Yep. You said we're going to take about 10. So we'll take about 10, folks, and we'll be back shortly. Grab your snacks because there's a very entertaining interview that's about to occur on the flip side of this break. So hang in there. Enjoy the break. We'll be right back.
Perfect.
All right, we're back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us during the break. I think by everybody, I mean Diamond Anvil out there in Chatland. So good to see you, Diamond. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Hope we are entertaining for you this evening. Throwing it back to the handler. Let's get this ball rolling.
All right.
For the second half of the show.
Agent Kraken and Agent Kellogg, you both wake up differently, separated and apart. Kraken is dutifully noting their dreamscape down on a notebook. Kellogg, as you wake up, you have a weird realization. You realize that you can tell the angles on all the surfaces in this room. The room itself is, all the 90-degree angles. Some of them are at like 90.2. Some of them are at like 89.7. But you look at them and you're aware of what angle they each are.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's overwhelming for a bit, I would say. He's just kind of wandering and touching the angles. And in a way, it's comforting because he knows that it's imperfect. Like, that's good at this moment.
Perfect. And it's the same for Agent Kraken as you wake up. But you have this moment, like, it takes time for you because you're a very hyper-focused individual. So you're journaling in here, and then maybe you're doing some more research, as you mentioned. And it's only when you slip out of that flow state, that hyper-focused state, that the realization kind of washes over you.
Yeah, when I have that moment of realization, and I'm kind of done journaling, I've checked on everything. Okay, I didn't mess up my laptop, didn't mess up any exchanges. I'm gonna go down the hall, I guess, to where I know that Kellogg was sleeping.
Yeah. As you walk along the hall, you realize that there is a crucifix on the hallway. And you didn't really pay any mind because that's pretty normal for a random house to have a crucifix. And as you're like looking at it, you can tell perfectly the angles that make up each of them. And it's perfectly 90 degrees as you're looking at it. And it almost has this, like, as you're walking by it, the crucifix almost like a curling flower, like almost like you have this moment where you think it's like scrunching in towards you as you like walk past it. And then you like do a double take back and it's just fine flat against the wall again.
Yeah, I'll reach out and like brush my hand across it to just, okay. Is it metal or is it wood?
It's wood, but it's painted with like gold paint.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. Yeah. All right.
Right next to it is that picture of the old man like praying over his piece of bread that seemingly every house in the Midwest has.
The Last Supper photo.
Yeah.
Right. Huh. Interesting. I'll just kind of file that away as one more interesting thing, and I'll kind of tap on Kellogg's door and see if he answers.
Yeah, you're hearing sounds of quiet destruction in that room.
Hey, Kellogg! And I'll turn the handle and gently open the door.
How long have you known?
I just woke up a few minutes ago. Can you see them too?
It wasn't the past. And he is going up to pretty much everything in the room, doing like the look at it. And if it's perfect, he's wrecking it. Do you understand what this is? Did you see? Did you see the next world? You did.
That is the next world. The high
I
school.
mean, you guys are 100% waking up Kilgore and Kiwi. Kilgore wakes up at the drop of a hat right here. He's raised some strong boys that get up into trouble, and they try to sneak out once, and you guys are definitely making more noise than they ever did.
Oh yeah, definitely. Can I show you? And I want to grab Kellogg and drag him out into the hallway, and I'm gonna point at the crucifix on the wall.
That is perfect for what my delusion is going to be. So thank you for
Yes,
that.
it is.
As
that thing, it looked like it moved like a flower, like a dying flower.
He snarls and grabs it and just snaps it against the wall. Do you understand what we are meant to be, Agent Kraken? We are the Antichrist of angles.
While you guys are doing this, I'm gonna Kilgore and Kiwi have a window to like do something here.
I come in and I see all this and hear all this happening. What the fuck did you smoke?
No. You don't get it. You don't get it. There's the points and the school and the road and God, he was there.
School,
and now,
road, points.
Stop. You're messing up the angle. Stop. Move to the left just a little bit. Okay, now I can see that angle. It hasn't changed. Okay, you can move back.
No. We saw it must be because we went into the lobby. You didn't go into the lobby, did you? You don't see the world for what it is.
So what in the hell is the world then? What am I supposed to be seeing?
It's being constantly there's the force of the crystalline creatures in the angled world. They're trying to take over, and the only thing we can do is make this place a cesspool of filth and angles. And he's like gesturing with the leg, the torso of the crucifix to punctuate his marks.
It was perfect, and now it's not.
Thing we can do is to destroy everything we can.
Oh, gee golly, that sounds real fucked up. Do you think that maybe it's more perfect there by the gas building? And Kilgore lights a cigarette and is like making coffee.
We're not supposed to smoke in safe house.
Shut the fuck up, Kraken. I don't know if you've never stayed overnight with me, but you know now is not the time.
Yes, that's the spirit. Very good, Kilgore. Very good. Channel that rage.
The wizard said, really tear it up. So
the television. Look at the television. Anything manufactured is to be considered the enemy.
I don't know about
What
that.
is Kiwi saying? I'm gonna give a window for Kiwi here. What's Kiwi's reaction to all of this?
After all of this, I'm just like, what the fuck? And I go back to bed and shut the door because I just can't handle it.
Can I make
what the fuck is wrong with them?
Can I make like a power roll or something here to resist Kellogg's convincing? Like, I have a very timid spirit as it is, but if he's being very convincing,
roll to resist being convinced that you are the Antichrist.
Join the cult. You coward.
Holy
Join the
shit.
cult.
How did I roll an alt 1?
Perfect.
I'm not convinced that that's actually the way.
Heretic. No.
Harmony. Harmony is the path. Kellogg, you're wrong. It's harmony. We have to harmonize. All these angles have to be the same and equal and correct.
Kraken, you idiot. You left before you saw the world and how we cannot.
Don't blame this on me.
it.
You woke me up. You tried to hit me.
Yeah, I tried to save you.
Kilgore
So for the sake of
just standing there.
Yeah.
for the sake of the game, we'll say that we're gonna do a time jump of you guys like arguing, trying to interpret the dream. Kilgore isn't going back to bed, it seems like. So Kilgore is going to be grumpy the rest of the day, is the technical term, I think. But Kiwi is going to be pretty fresh. Kiwi, I think, has some really good earplugs that she has to break out every once in a while.
Yeah, I know if it's a K-cell mission, the earplugs are the very most important piece to bring.
Excellent.
That's why she can't hear Agent Kraken half the time, because she's got her earplug in on that side.
Oh no, she's got her earpods in.
I haven't heard that in a while.
I know, that's an old meme.
That's an old meme now. Weird. So you guys wake up in the morning. Kiwi wakes up. You guys were already awake up. Kilgore, you've been listening to these knuckle fucks argue for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna say you guys don't get shit done.
No.
Yeah. If a matter of fact, if one of them starts to slow down a little bit, Kilgore would jump in and help out, to take up the slack to keep them in the argument.
This is why I have multiple kids. You have to pit them against each other so that way they keep each other entertained.
Exactly. And does not offer anyone else coffee, keeps pouring herself coffee, and will make more pots if necessary.
Excellent. Cutting to Agent Kiwi, what are you putting on a disguise for your interview, or an air of professionalism, or what is the?
I'm gonna wear my, good old. I'm going out on an investigation FBI clothes, so I basically kind of look like a government official. But
That works at Forbes.
Be right back, Dom.
yeah, I mean, it's the same sort of like professional done up stuff. Anyway,
Sure.
yeah, but I would make sure that I actually put on some makeup and look semi-feminine because,
gotta
reporting
play your
and all
cards.
that. Exactly. So
Excellent. And what do you make Kilgore wear?
Kilgore can wear whatever she wants to wear.
She's supposed to be your assistant, right? Like,
Kilgore can wear whatever she wants to wear. I don't care.
all right.
The
I give
eccentric
you an
assistant.
opportunity
It's fun.
to pull one on Kilgore, and you don't take it. Noted.
Yeah.
Kilgore wears a pantsuit
Yeah.
There you go.
and heels because she's
Perfect.
already 6 feet tall.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do or grab between now, which is 8 a.m., and 11 a.m., which is your interview slot with the Mr. Grund?
I'm gonna get my video recorder. I'm taking that.
Okay. Yep.
I am putting on all of the cheap ass iron jewelry, making sure that my gun is well concealed. And other than that, that's about it.
Awesome. Any other preps from Kilgore before you guys show up at the office?
I mean, I bring my brass knuckles.
Okay. Yeah,
my
those are in your
purse.
pocket.
They're my purse.
Your purse. Sure. What is a purse but a pocket that's outside of your clothes?
That would be a purse.
Yeah. You guys show up at the building itself. It is a very well laid out building. It's a single story building. It seems to actually be a old, I am blanking on his name right now. It's an older building built by, this is gonna bother me if I don't look it up. What is his name?
There we go. Ace Darabandi.
No,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a very nice building that you find yourself in. It looks like something kind of, done up like an architecture firm would do. You walk up to the front desk. You're greeted by like very hungover looking young man. He takes your information. He says, yes, you just have to go down these offices over here. When you walk in, you see like the pictures of Grund and Erg. They're doing that like stupid like handshake thing as they're like standing in front of the office and like going to cut the ribbon. And you get kind of directed deeper in. And you finally find yourself in kind of like a, that's what I'm looking for here, a like small coffee, not a coffee room, but a lounge. Look at me, I'm so good with my architecture words today. You're met in like a lounge with the person that you already expect is Grund. And he's done in kind of like that, the sort of like business casual thing. He has a cardigan on, some nicely pressed pants, and he looks very much in his element. And kind of waves to both of you guys, gets up, and is just kind of bouncy and says, "Oh, hello! It's so great to have you. Sorry, short notice, I know, but it's great to meet you. Isn't this a great building here? Frank Lloyd Wright built this back in the early 1900s, and we're so happy to get to be here. Remembered it.
Absolutely. I love Frank Lloyd Wright. This is an amazing building. I do, however, tend to prefer his stuff that's more, natural, built into the cliffside, things like that. The homes he built were a lot, they just felt better than the concrete and business buildings. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. But curious.
We all make do with the best that we can.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And your name was?
Hi, my name is Carla. Carla Smith.
Great. And gonna gesture kind of, warmly to your assistant.
Quick question: is he asking me or is he asking her?
This is a very affable, kind man, and he looks at her and then looks at you. It's like
Okay.
He's not talking over you; he's like actually talking to you.
Oh, good morning, sir. My name is Misty Schaffner.
Okay.
I'm the assistant to Miss Smith.
Well, it's great to have both of you, and I'm really excited to answer both of your questions. I have to apologize. Our most knowledgeable member of the team is not available right now, and is having a little bit of a personal emergency. He's gonna do that sort of hand gesture thing, don't mention it sort of thing, but having a little bit of an emergency right now. But I am more than happy to answer any questions, and I'm fairly prepared to answer whatever you have for me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, part of the reason of this article is that I'm doing some investigation into how historic revitalism in architecture to return to the, Roaring 20s style, and how that is having a positive impact on the business ventures of city, corporations in downtown Milwaukee. And it seems as though the pinnacle, the very top tier is the Milwaukee Gas Building. That the amount of just thought and energy that has gone into making this building the best example of historic revitalization in an actively used corporate building. So I wanted to ask you, and are you the one who designed the building?
Oh, well, I can't claim the design myself. A lot of our dutiful work was done by, our other architect here, Dr. Berg. And I think his biggest emphasis when he was designing this work was that he really wanted to dig into the original intentions for the building. It is what we found out is that the original architect, the one that was designing the building from back in the 1920s, actually was gonna look a little bit like, I'm going to say something scandalous. He was actually shot in an alleyway and never got to finish his designs. And somebody else took over for them and finished designing the building, which resulted with the gas building that we have now. But we actually spent a lot of time. We dedicated a lot of our interns to going through and digging up the old records from the previous company. And we think we're delivering the really authentic and meant for designed building. It took a lot of time and due diligence, but we're happy to be delivering this, to Milwaukee, because it's what Milwaukee deserves.
Oh, absolutely.
What was the name of that other architect, the one that originally designed it?
Oh, he's gonna kind of think. He's gonna roll his head back. This is Edgar Williams.
And I write it down.
Yeah, dutifully, like the assistant you are.
The flavor details.
So he was shot in that was unusual for this area of the country in that time period. Does anybody know why he was shot? What was the history behind that?
Well, he's gonna kind of laugh, not derisively, but in that way that your dad does when you say something foolish. Well, it was the roaring 20s. There was a lot of activity here in Milwaukee. People often forget how important Milwaukee was to the bootlegging business during that time. And while we can't say for certain, we do think that he's probably involved in some part of the seedy underworld of Milwaukee and might have gotten in too deep.
Oh, that's fascinating. And what was the name of the original business that built the building? Yeah.
Oh, it was the Eschweiler and Eschweiler architecture firm here in Milwaukee. Edgar was just one of the people working for him.
Heschweiler?
Eschweiler.
Interesting. And you were able to get the plans for the new renovated gas building from that organization.
Yeah, yes. We contacted them. They had some of the records still kind of floating around. Eschweiler and Eschweiler is still in business. Not quite completely certain why they didn't get the business in the first place, but we're happy to do it. We got a lot of the records from them, and yeah, it was a big mess, to be honest with you. We found a lot of interesting details in the process of doing so, like the original green stone, for instance, was donated by, well, not donated, but they got it for a very good price. It was actually one of those funny circumstances. The Taliesin architecture firm, which had arranged, has kind of spun out of Frank Lloyd Wright's operation, had the stone on hand from another job, and were able to sell it to them for a cheaper price, which is why it has that vibrant green stone. And I think a lot of people don't realize how many just happy circumstances lead to the architecture that we see in the history that we have. So digging into these documents has really let us have an appreciation of that.
What did you say the name of that stone was again?
The stone was, it is just a green marble that I'm trying to remember the original quarry. The Taliesin group had ordered a bunch of it and had too much, and so they sold it to us for, well, not us, but Eschweiler and Eschweiler, the construction firm used by them, for very cheaply, and they incorporated it into the designs. And he'll pull out some kind of older pictures. It seems that he has a few kind of records of what the building used to, and he'll take some time to walk you through what it looked like from before. Kiwi, you'll notice, because you were walking with Kilgore around the building, the lobby was much more grand in the past in its original incarnation. And one thing that you'll notice, and it's almost a smudge on the pictures, you'll see that there is in the corners of the granite slabs used up to decorate it, there seems to be little inscriptions on the granite. And you remember furthermore from Kellogg and Kraken's description that there wasn't any granite inside of the building when they were visiting the site, inside the lobby anyways.
Okay. Would it be possible for me to see the original plans that your colleague used to start the renovation of this building?
He'll kind of consider for a second. Yeah, if you want to spend some time amongst the records, let me see what I can scrounge up for you guys. Like we said, we had a lot of great work done by our interns to try and arrange it. Funnily enough, my, Dr. Erg's stepson led a lot of those efforts. So, we're very much of a family establishment, and he led a lot of those, getting those documents together. So why don't you give me a minute to just see what I can arrange for you, what they've left for us. Like I said, I'm not the person in charge of the documents right now, so it might take me a minute. And he'll kind of, I think you guys will have, maybe, do you have other pointed questions for him? Because otherwise you're going to have the rest of the fill time for the questions that you have for him. And then he'll go grab the documents after the conversation that you guys have.
I don't have anything else specific.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Kilgore looks like you have a question.
I have a question for you real quick. First of all, well, I mean, I'll just ask him. So who was it that hired you to do the remodel, the restoration?
Oh, so the company that owns the tower itself just put out, looking for bids on the remodel itself, and we just happened to win the bidding process.
Oh wow! So it was just from a financial position. Because I mean, this is really something that you guys are doing here, and so.
Well, yeah, I will admit a little bit that we underbid it just a smidge, just because we wanted the opportunity to work on such a historic building, and
So
yeah.
did they provide you the plans?
Oh, well, we had to reach out to Eschweiler and Eschweiler. It's a whole thing because
Oh, so you had to procure the plans for them and then modify them from there.
Right. Well, the original proposal was to restore it back to its 1930s. We need to dig into the original documents because a lot of time in history you lose what was actually built or why it was actually built. There's a big difference between what was planned to be built versus what was actually built. And so, to resolve these discrepancies, you have to get in contact with the original plans. And in that process, we came across kind of the original intents of the space. And, we proposed to the owners of the tower now, and they seemed really behind it. And we were excited to be able to bring more historicity to the town.
I'm really interested in that, in the differences. I think that our audience might be interested in that. Were there a lot of differences between the old plan, like the way it was actually executed and the way that they had planned it?
There was
there's a pretty good amount of construction in there.
Oh yeah, well, it's not just the lobby itself. So just to remind you, we're not just taking over the lobby. The lobby is the biggest part. There's elements inside of the elevator that we're really excited about. There's additional figures that we've installed in there. A lot of the changes are kind of like in how the decorations were laid out. There's a difference in the amount of space. The stairs were placed in the same arrangement, but there's additional meant to be kind of not smoking rooms per se, but they were kind of alcoves meant for small talk conversation that were meant to happen here. And, the building itself has a funny history with alcohol because when it was originally designed, wait, one second, I'm gonna check something. Yeah, the design of the building itself was kind of lingering around for a long while. And in the mind of Edgar, apparently, prior even to the commencement of the building. The building was started being built in 1929. And obviously, there's design phases that occur before that. And Edgar had originally designed there to be like an integrated bar as a part of it. And eventually those went on to become the speakeasy that everyone's going crazy over right now. I think might have to rearrange some of the spaces to make room for it, given all the attention that it seems to be getting. Be careful about what you talk about. Remember that,
Oh, geez. I just think this is so neat, and I really think that most of our, the Milwaukee business crew, I really think that they're gonna eat this up, and just is the whole time just writing down every little detail that not every little detail, but everything that might be Googleable, to give the background and the fluff part. But the part that she's actually interested in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and and he's happy to talk about it. I imagine that you guys have some filler questions, so it's going to take some time between when you stop your actual questions that you care about and the commencement of the interview, because you have to appear like your Forbes.
But who does own the building? I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, that's a great question that me, the GM, does have the answer for. You just have to give me just a quick second here. It is a holding company that it is a company that holds like a lot of different properties down in Milwaukee. I don't have the specific name right this instance, but it's just a holding building holding company.
Okay.
Any other questions before he kind of leads to the documents?
Mm.
Okay. So you guys make you take some time to M, like most stupid. I did find it. It is the M&J Wilco is the name of the holding company that holds it.
All right.
They hold properties across the entire nation. They have more than 60 properties in Midwest, West, Southeast, and Northeast, all across the place. They even have some in Hawaii.
Okay.
So after the interview is commenced, he drags you through. Noticeably as you like walk by the office that says Dr. Erg on it. The door is shut, the windows, the lights are off. You can see that nobody's in there. You get kind of dragged through the space. It's pretty tight. It was a Frank Lloyd Wright building, and it's not especially large. And so you just kind of get brought to the other side of the building. And there is a little bit of what appears to be a office space. It's like a bigger room. And there's just a bunch of documents kind of in boxes kind of all over the place, which he kind of moves to the side. And he pulls out one core document and he says, well, this is the kind of core documents that we've been pulling from. Obviously, there's a lot of periphery stuff that we wind up using, which is in all these things over here. Feel free to take the time to thumb through it. Just please leave it the way you found it.
Absolutely. Can you just show me I don't know, do you have any way to, when looking at these documents, to tell which interns were working on, I guess, compiling them?
I'm going to.
He just looks very confused, like, no.
Okay. I just didn't know if you had an internal organizational method that I needed to be aware of, but that's fine. I understand.
We'll just give each pile numbers. It'll be all right, Miss Smith. And Kilgore takes a camera and starts taking photographs of what would be like interesting, what would make for an interesting background for like a magazine,
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like really playing up the assistant part, and is specifically kind of, while doing this, looking for anything that kind of stands out to her, like that's not normal, like the lines, the way that where we saw that green rocks, like, or the green marble, just kind of following that through the building and seeing what's going on there.
Yeah, you're able to kind of get the picture as he doesn't seem alarmed at all by you kind of doing this, and you're acting totally normal. Are you sticking it out with Kiwi, or are you just trying to remain? Speaking of dogs being annoying, my dog wants to be fed dinner. You're able to kind of like take the video feed seamlessly and distract him while Kiwi goes through documents.
Yeah, I'm just going through, taking the photo, like I said, playing it up, looking for that connection, trying to get some sort of insight into the best way to mess it up. And really, like I said, I want to kind of focus on the green marble and how it's supposed to run through the whole building. And really, I'm trying to pay attention to where there would, particularly where there would be like an out of the way area, like channeling my agent Kellogg. Like I hear him, right? He's like, we gotta break it up, fellas. All right. So Kilgore's trying to figure out where the easiest place would be for that to happen.
Okay, awesome. I will answer your question. I'm going to take 1 second. I just gotta put food on the ground real quick for my dog, and then I will be right back. It will be less than a minute.
No problem.
So, for those that were paying attention, and this may be a little meta, we'll see. They mentioned that there was the inscriptions in the corners. That was on granite, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're looking through those, maybe see if the marble is covering a base layer. I'm kind of wondering if that is, they got the marble, they put it over something. I don't know if the original plans had that or not.
Okay, so look at me go. I'm right back. So the marble itself, you see in the original plans for the lobby, there wasn't any planned marble in there at all. And so like places that you could put it, you put it anywhere in its current incarnation and in the original way that it was built. The marble has largely been treated as kind of like a cladding and has been in all the spaces in there to kind of like unify the space. And in fact, you come across some documents that seem to indicate by the architect that took it over, like, oh, why did they leave this outside of here? Or, oh, this ornament is ugly, I'm going to move this around. Oh, the cladding should be used throughout the building to unify the structure. And you see overall, like you don't see anything initially like untoward because the first thing you encounter is like kind of the notes from the architect that took over. And it was like, well, yeah, there's some weirdness. I'm going to clean this up. You know, like when you take over a project for somebody else and you kind of shit talk them in that sort of professional way.
Yeah. Putting your touch on it or cleaning it up.
You don't see any sort of like, it's not like you see in the margin, somebody's like, I will counter the actions of this wizard by putting cladding on. No, it's like, this guy's fucking gone. I'm going to do a better job at this. And so as you're going through it, Kiwi, you're kind of the one that's actually doing it because Kilgore is pulling the book. As you're going through it, you find a notebook that is like, has that roughness of a journal that's been used. And you pick it up, look at it, and you just like flip open to the front cover. It says, in case of emergency, return to blah, blah, blah. And it's got the name of the kid that you guys kidnapped.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to be reading that.
For sure. And that's going to take a little bit of time. So I assume that you guys are just going to spend as much time as you need to in that room. I don't think that they're going to kick you out at all. I think you have enough time to spend flipping through it to actually like get an impression of it. Unless you guys are trying to like get in and out of there quickly.
I'm not particularly worried about getting in and out quickly. If he is going to hang out, is he hanging out while we're going through this, or is he elsewhere?
No, he's got other shit to do.
All right, cool. Okay, cool.
He dropped you off.
If we're just here, then we're going through it. We're gonna do our search, and then I'll actually begin. Like I said, originally the photographing was just for him. Since he's gone now, I will actually photograph stuff that we may want to keep a record of.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And he's happy. He answered all your questions. He did the thing. He's happy to lead you to the room, do whatever, and just leaves because he's like, I got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
So you flip through the journal. You're going to spend some time reading that. The general impression that you get is that this is a journal. It's mostly a bullet journal. It's mostly like a to-do list, a series of like, oh, today I'm going to get this done and this done and this done. Like a lot of bullet journals, it's kind of like interspersed between like to-dos to focus on, and then like actual like journal type notes. And so when you first start out in the journal, it's like very focused on like school tasks and like just random occasional notes. But as you're flipping through it, like the journaling aspect of it and the to-do portion of it, like begin to tip in its balance. And more of it becomes like the self-reflective journal. And the overall theme that you kind of get from it is that the kid was really struggling with like having a sense of place in the world. He's not, he reflects on how he's not a religious person, but he still struggles with what it means to have meaning in a situation where he's not given something by God. And therefore, he's running through this normal gambit of like things that somebody might struggle with. What does meaning mean? And the thing in particular that he seems to like latch onto is he really struggles with his limitations as a human. He's limited by the senses that he has. He has vision, touch, sense, these limiting sensations that he has to describe the world. But we all know that there's so much more that exists out in the world. If only he had the right sensations to know it, to interpret it, to receive it. And, it kind of starts like out nonchalant, like not a huge deal. And it begins to become like very obsessive later on in the text. And you're astute enough will note that it becomes more obsessive when he says, "Oh, I just got the internship with my stepdad. Boy, do I love my stepdad. I'm so glad that he's been so supportive during all of this. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to work on this." He's just very effusive about his stepdad. And as he's doing this, he like begins to become more obsessive in this obsession. And one of the questions that he keeps coming back to time and time again is, why can't I see what separates me from my dreams? Becomes this like question that he becomes obsessed with. Like, where do you go when you don't exist anymore? Can I perceive that which exists between here and there? And the last like couple of journals is like him realizing what he needs to do to arrive at that. And so I'm going to ask now, do you continue reading?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I need you to make me a sanity check first off.
Oh, yeah.
That checks out.
That checks out. That is a pass.
Pass, so you're fine. Can you just take one for me then from Unnatural as you get dinged by this? Because even reading this is just like warping to you in the way that he writes, because it begins to like, he begins to like form quadrants on the page itself and like writes out from the center of the quadrant and fills the space in weird ways, which it hurt to read. But he finally comes to the realization that what he needs to do to, bridge the gap between, and it's all because of the writing that he's found inside these documents. It's so fortuitous that this interest that he has was revealed by the documents that he was made to work on by his stepfather. It's all fate that he has happened to find these. And the key, of course, is finding some sort of grounding point between the dream world and the reality world. And in that way, create a bridge between the two. And then you can look at the gaps between that bridge. And there you can see the reality that you're meant to have. And perhaps by seeing that, he will become changed, and in his changedness, and it just rants on like that, with him wanting to create this bridge between the dream and the real and the unreal, in through that to become changed as a person.
Okay. Does he make enough of a reference about the documents for me to be able to figure out if those same documents are still here in this pile somewhere? Or is it just vague reference?
No, I think that they're pretty specific, and that you can like actually track down the documents that he is talking about. He's very like fastidious, and that's something that is preserved even, in the bouts of his struggle. He's very much like, oh, page 13 of whatever document, he references this thing. It's all in there. It's all organized. It's all very nicely, easily destroyable.
Excellent. So yeah, I want to take a good look at, I'm going to kind of gesture to Kilgore, this needs to go, and hand it to her. And then I'm going to look for the documents referenced in the book, in his journal.
Yeah, and as you start flipping through them, I'm going to need another sanity check as you go to grab them because you've internalized some of these things, and if you're the one that's going to be grabbing them,
Oh, that's a fail.
and I'm kind of curious if is Kiwi aware of how these things have a change on her? Like, would she have the case of mind to be like, Kilgore, I'm going to describe the documents to you. Can you grab these things for you? I'm not going to explain in context. Or do you think that Kiwi's just like, I'm going to do this thing?
I think, yeah.
I
was
would
gonna
just do
say-
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the reason I asked is because like it's always hard. And I think, you know, if you were in that situation, you would feel this warping in your mind. And you know, like there's this weird stepping on the side of a cliff. And, you know, every time you do something, you might be aware of how it is self-harming, even in this abstract sense. And so I guess you're making this choice to do psychological self-harm in a way of like, I'm going to grab these things, even though I know it hurts. And like you mentioned, you got to fail. Why don't you roll a d6 for me as you're exposed to these documents, pulling them out, and it can change you.
All right, that's a 3.
Okay, lose 3 from unnatural. I'm gonna not yell at my dog, but gently growler. Come on, in here. Come on. Yes, thank you. It's a doggy sort of day. Yeah, so you lose 3 sanity as you pick out each of these different documents. They're all kinds of random ones to you anyways. They're architecture designs. I'm not going to pretend to understand how architects like set out designs, but there's different diagrams for, you know, how a particular piece of ornamentation is supposed to look. But, you know, these are the angles that are used to like, cut them out. Here's how you might manufacture it. There's a lot of like architecture notes that aren't like part of a specific design, but they're like the thoughts of Edgar himself. And they're too technical for you to like interpret. Like you know that you would have to take dedicated time and have to be a specialist to understand a lot of what he's talking about, because a lot of it's just math or him like talking about mathematical concepts. But you're able to grab them and tuck them away. You can kind of feel they leave like a cigarette smell in the back of your brain as you're holding them. The paper sheets themselves are very clean. Like those angles on the corners, they look real sharp. I'm not saying, but you know, you're really impressed at how sharp the angles are on this piece of paper. There's this weird thing that kind of happens when you're handling the piece of paper. You almost see this like smoky effect around the corners of the pieces of paper. It doesn't resolve into anything, but you just kind of see the smoky effect for a second, and it like doesn't resolve into anything. Maybe shimmering might be a better term. Like there's this shimmer that happens around the corners. But you know, you take the second, you look at it, nothing happens, and you just continue grabbing them.
All right. Yeah, my intent is to gather all of these things, and I am taking them with us. They're not staying here.
It's about like half the size of the like box. You guys just have like purses on you, it sounded like. So are you getting them out?
Kilgore, these things can't stay here.
And you said we have like a file box worth of
Like half the documents in the file box are dangerous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't have to take them out with us. We can just make them so that they're not readable.
You're welcome to see what you can do with them. And I don't know that necessarily you want to touch them, but maybe you do. I don't know.
So I'll reach into my purse, and Kilgore, working in HR, she does a lot of writing and she signs a lot, and so she has a fountain pen. That's
Sure.
the kind of person that she is. And she has the little fountain pen ink, the bottle, you know, like you would refill it with. And she's going to use that and use it to deface the documents in such a way that it's not like you could put together what's defaced with context clues. You know, it'd be like you just take a square of the document and just it'd be like taking it out.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. We'll say that you guys just ink it up.
Between ink and nail polish, I figure we got it.
Okay.
As much as we have to, and anything that we can take out with us.
Just to clarify, though, the documents exist on your camcorder, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, don't worry, that's going to get destroyed too. But for right now, I want to take it back and show it to our wizard.
Yeah, and for the sake of convenience, we'll set it. We'll cut you guys. We'll cut on the image of you pouring ink over there. Oh fuck, we gotta get rid of these documents. All right, you guys throw a bunch of shit on it. Slash cut over to you guys being back at the safe house. Kellogg and Kraken is in front of you. Do you just describe everything to them? We can shortcut that, but
yeah, but then I say, okay, wizard, I've got something I need you to look at.
Okay.
And I'll actually show him the video.
Askew. Yeah.
If you're showing him the document, I need him to full sand check for me too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I know what he's going to do, but he absolutely would watch it.
Are you putting this on the TV?
Yeah, it's shockingly.
Are you all watching it on TV?
It's a failure.
Oh, no,
Are you hooking it up to the flat screen like TV so we can all see it in the living room?
I was just gonna hand him the camcorder.
He's just looking at the little
the viewfinder thing. Okay.
I go make hamburger helper.
Excellent.
It's
God, you are from Wisconsin.
Kraken is continuing.
He failed the sand roll. We can just assume. Okay.
I measure the amount of black pepper.
Oh, only a 2. All right. I'm still in double digits. Life is going great.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. I'm so happy for you.
And what you basically watch is his face doesn't change. He was kind of skeptical to begin with. He sees the documents and he just picks it up, walks over to a wall that like a doorway, and then with his hand in the camcorder strap just starts smashing it into the wall until his hand his hand starts to get bloody from it. It's just shut up,
probably
Kraken.
It's the best thing to do with it. It's for the best.
No, you have to be in harmony with these things. It's the only way to stop it is to accept it and be in harmony.
He points the blood soaked camcorder shards that his hand still strapped through. This is heresy, and we won't have it. Do you understand? Your harmony would bring about a world that you cannot survive in.
You don't know that.
I guarantee you are not ready for the world. You are an imperfect being and you should accept it.
And this kid tried. He tried to see the bridge, the gap in between the waking and dreaming realities, and it turned him into that thing. So no, we don't want to be in harmony with it. That's a terrible idea.
No, we were there. We were in the other world, right? You said so.
You did not see what I saw. You did not. You escaped.
Wait, what? What are y'all talking about?
Oh,
did we not cover this?
Did you guys have some sort of a shared drug-induced hallucination?
Yeah, it was Kilgore sticks her head around the stove, right? And it's just, yeah, honey, it was the other night when you went back to sleep. The two of them sat there and jaw-jacked for 2.5 hours at the table while I just drank coffee. It was actually kind of funny to hear them go back and forth. Apparently, they were sharing dreams that night. They're holding out on old Agent Kilgore and not letting Agent Kilgore, hit the ketamine with them. But it's all right. I don't hold it against either one of you. I won't actually try to smother you in your sleep.
Well, that's comforting.
Well, if they get smothered in their sleep, I know it wasn't you.
Be too obvious.
Yeah, no. Mentally making a note. I could smother one of them in their sleep and they'll think it was Kilgore.
Breading cheese.
The other one.
Yeah. Opening a can of green peas to pour into the hamburger helper.
But no, Agent Kraken was spared the true realization of what we are going against the blasphemy of perfection that exists beyond the stupid fantasy school that you apparently are trapped in your stupid fantasy dreams. Why can't you just have dreams of blackness like normal people?
That's not normal.
It's not normal. You
That's
dream
beyond
of the darkness.
Wait,
There's
I don't want to hear about normal blackness of dreams from a guy who takes
Oh my
showers
God.
in his socks. I just don't.
Kilgore sticks her head around the corner. You showering in them socks?
yes.
Did you not
How
notice
are
the
you,
pile of wet socks
are you-
sitting in the corner?
How else do you think my socks get clean? Think.
Are you changing them after you get out?
Do I have to explain everything to you?
I mean, when it comes to showering in socks,
Why- why
you're gonna
do you
need
think-
to be pretty specific?
Why do you think my shoes are always wet wherever we go? You are supposed to be an agent. Put together the pieces. You have all the clues. This
Oh,
is
sweetie,
his
if you
hands.
talk to me like that again, I'll break your fucking jaw.
Fucking wish you would.
If
If anything-
she goes back to cooking.
Yeah, you should destroy Kraken's jaw. It's too perfectly angled.
Had a fucking blast with it.
You already bit Kraken. You already took a
And
chunk
he
out of her,
pinched me,
you
and he
fucking
tried to
cannibal.
slap me, and yeah, when I was a kid.
She's not perfect anyway. She's probably the most flawed out of all of us. There's
If
nothing
you
perfect
only
about
knew.
her. Oh God, I just no.
Okay, well, the point is, we need. I saw enough of those plans, and from what you've described, there may be more formulaic, more traditional, hypergeometric plans behind the marble walls. That should be easy enough to destroy. However, I am concerned about the built-up energy there within. I don't mind going in and destroying them myself. It is somewhat of a religious calling for me, but I do fear for
You need to wear an iron crown that looks like a crown of iron dildos. That's what we need. That's what we need for you. Is a crown of iron dildos. Like those guys that took that kid. Remember Kilgore?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know exactly how the hell you propose we put that together, but
what's
I
the
was
source?
thinking, maybe you'll wear like a Dutch oven on your head.
That could work too. We can go to any store and get you some cast iron.
There might be some here in the house. This is a good Midwestern home, right? There's got to be cast iron and Pyrex here.
We also bought all kinds of wire. We could just wrap it around a head.
Oh, that's going to look a lot like a tinfoil hat. But I mean, you do what you do.
I mean,
It works. Disrupting.
No, it does not. Tin is the worst metal for disrupting brain telepathy.
Destroying ritualistic space can disperse the energy and release it. If you don't channel it properly, you could cause a backlash. That's what my shaman master taught me.
Yes.
So do we need to get some crystals? Because I know where there's an aquarium shop.
I don't want crystals.
No, we just need to find a way to channel it. We have to figure out what channels it back to the earth to return the energy to the source.
Well, that
It's
sure
called
sounds like
grounding.
crystals. I don't know anything about them, but that's if I were going to place a bet on something, it'd be on crystals.
They did
Copper.
have a crystalline structure. Maybe
Copper.
kaleidoscopes. We saw a lot of kaleidoscopes. Where are you getting copper from?
Copper,
I mean, obviously
copper
we
is a
rip it out of the
grounding element.
walls,
No.
but
When I built my rig, I had to ground everything, and the only way to ground everything was to use copper rods on each server rack, and then tie them all together with copper. Copper is a grounding metal that you drive it into the earth.
like the decoration that they already have in the lobby.
Yes, but it is not grounded to the earth. If you were to take that and ground it to the earth, then you could ground it all out, and it would release it back into the earth. Presto, boom, done. Fix, save today. See?
It's worth a shot before we destroy the,
Oh, you're still gonna have to blow the building up, I
Descriptions.
think.
No, that is
Well,
not a great
if you're
plan.
if you're grounded out and nobody knows it's grounded,
Then you
it's
just,
grounded.
but then you destroy the inscriptions and you don't need to make a bigger mess. We just need to destroy whatever portion is perfect, and then it won't matter because you destroyed the plans, correct?
Yeah.
Then there is no way for them to recreate it unless they have perfect memory. And
Or
I mean, if we have
backups.
to kill some architecturist people, that it's such as life.
You'd be aware that they're already building the thing. So plans of this have already been distributed to the people to build the thing.
Yeah, that's the point. Kraken would probably make there are copies on the site too, not just in the architect's office. So
Good. We
But-
need to destroy those
Well,
and maybe kill the people.
Digital design is a thing. It exists on server racks and. Okay.
Then we need to destroy them all. What is the question here? Everything needs to be destroyed.
How do you propose we do that?
blow up the building.
How
The
do you
building
propose
that
we do
doesn't
that?
have. How many buildings are you going to blow up before you get caught? You have to think about this. You need to think, Kraken.
Gas
We need to-
line ruptures, chain reaction.
You realize that the servers are probably not in the gas building.
Yeah, I can fix that though. I can figure out where they are. That's not a problem. That's
Okay.
easily done.
Great. And we go to the site and we destroy those plans
We might not
there
have to,
while we break the building.
might not have to go there if I can get into their system. I can inflict it with a malware virus that will just destroy everything on their servers.
Oh, that's
But-
fine. But I'm talking about the gas building. We have to destroy the lobby.
Yeah.
They have plans in there. People
Right.
have seen those plans. But if we ground it out, it's dead. It's effectively dead.
It will be a slow
Mm.
drain. The energy will just seep out of the thing and back into the earth. And that copper thing was pretty big.
And so you're saying that this can be a problem 80 years from now when someone snips the grounding wire and the whole lobby starts to once again build up energy. We need a long-term solution that won't destroy,
Hey,
the
that's
entire
long term
building.
enough.
What the fuck are you talking? And like he's getting like animated. That is long enough. Long enough.
80 years, I won't be around
80?
anymore.
He
Not my
slaps you in the face.
Look,
What is your goddamn job as Delta Green? Are you putting
Stopped
fucking-
it. We stop it.
no, you are fucking putting a time bomb on it. You stop it or you don't
One
waste the time. What are you
Listen
talking
here,
about?
Kellogg. Listen here. There is nothing more American than kicking a problem down the road.
Okay, I
making
can't
it
argue.
somebody else's. Making it somebody else's problem. Okay, so first of all, go ahead and write that down.
Yeah.
And second of all, through Jesus, all things are possible.
It's a
I
job
feel like
well
this
done.
like
We might
welling
just
sense
be
of
able to
pride
kick it.
from Kool-Aid.
If we just kick it far enough, then maybe a terrorist are to bomb it, or maybe we make it a priority to solve later. Yeah, no.
Look,
Or you give me a crowbar and I go into the fucking building and solve it now.
I think that you can deface it. You can remove some of the perfectness.
Yeah.
And you can ground it, and then that should be it. Because the original plans
Yes.
with the original hypergeometric magic, for lack of
Yes.
a better term, those documents, the source documents, have been destroyed.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I'm all for this defacing idea. And as a matter of fact, I was actually looking to see what would be the most out of the way part that we could deface so that nobody else would, be able to come back behind it and repair. And I'm just going through the camera until I, get back to those sections, and I'll pass it over to Kellogg and be like, so here you go. These are the ones that I think would probably be a good candidate. I was really, really vibing with you, as the youngins would say, while I was in there. Our vibrations were on really in sync.
Y'all are just mocking me now. I know it.
Yes. Thank God. You finally.
Kraken will stomp over to her laptop and sit down and start typing away on something.
I mean, it's not that we don't like you.
No,
But you-
I don't. Yeah.
I don't like any of you. And Kilgore, I don't know you well enough to have a firm opinion, but I sure as hell don't like the two of them.
Good. So are we breaking into this lobby in the middle of the night to break it or not?
Sure.
Great. Because I'm going to do it either way. It's more of the question of if you think you want to back me up. Plus, some of you are definitely stronger than I am by a lot.
It's
All right,
sweet.
let's
I
go
gotcha.
then.
So this is with that question in mind. I'm going to turn over to Jackal. It's Jackal. Do you want me to wrap this up? I can do a cinematic ending of you guys dressing, walking through this, and we can finish up tonight. Or do you want to play through it next week?
I'm fine either way. What does the gang want to do? Let's put it up for group
Vibe check.
break.
No strong preference.
Kilgore, you must have an opinion, or else I will kick you.
Or else I'll decide for myself.
I mean, if we play through it, realistically, what kind of you think we could wrap it up next week in about 3 hours?
Oh, it's going to take under that for sure.
Oh,
Because it's just this is your guys' just your final confrontation. I just know that we're hitting our 3 hour mark, and I want to respect that. And there, our 3 hour mark, and I want to respect that. So therefore, I could wrap this up in the next 10 minutes, or we could play it out.
Let's
I will
play it
give you
out.
either a word summary or play it out.
I say we play it out.
Kiwi, does that seem reasonable to you? Okay.
Yeah,
and that is
As long as we're not up until like 1 a.m, I should be fine.
well, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm cutting us off now, so we're not up till 1 a.m. in the morning. It should only take like an hour to wrap things up. So,
That's fine.
in theory,
Well, this is K-Cell, so you.
That's true.
It's going to take us an hour to get in the building.
yeah, no kidding, Chuckles.
You just got to break a window. How hard can it be?
Runs
It's got to
into
be the
window,
right
bounces
window.
off.
It's got to be the right window, right? It's got to be the proper angled window.
We'll just break the window and then get into an office that has a locked door.
From the outside.
God, yeah, God damn it.
I was sure this was the right one.
Dodge, damn it.
Why don't we just go through the construction site? Shut up! Shut up!
Are you guys waiting for the night then?
Yeah, I think Kraken will do some research on grounding isolation rods. And we might need to run and get some ground rods, copper grounding wire, some aught gauge copper wire from Home Depot, or hardware store, in general hardware store, whatever, like that.
Okay, excellent. So where we will end for the night is you guys getting suited up, prepared for the night. You loaded up your car, and you kind of all load into the car that you've been given and start driving off towards the gas building itself. As you do so, the camera kind of picks up from your car and kind of pulls away, and like a bird's eye kind of drifts along out to the outskirts of town itself, to kind of a neighborhood that's pretty run down. And the camera begins falling down through the floors of a building. And once it hits down through the floor, you can see that you find yourself in what appears to be some sort of science lab run by Delta Green, set up behind iron barricades with pieces of colored glass hung distinctly between them. You can see the young kid that you kidnapped earlier is laying down on a bare floor, and he is convulsing. And as he does so, the sparkles of shattered glass that seemed to appear over his body when he was casting a spell before has taken over most of his abdomen and is spreading to his arms. You can see that this crystalline whirl that surrounds him is spreading down his arms. And as you do so, you can see that there were kind of like scallops and points cut into the iron bars that make up his cage. And you can see this like shattered glass dust kind of like appear on the edges of it and then dissipate out, almost as if he is extending his forces outward, but resisting against the iron and its specially cut properties. As he kind of like screams out in this staticky noise, it like fills the screen with the same sort of static vibrations. And all that remains is kind of this faint darkness and the staticky noise. And the scene opens up again, this time following a janitor as he walks down the stairs to the Milwaukee gas building. He's walking by kind of like the set of staircases that you would for like the fire escape exit. He walks by a door. It says, floor 4. He walks down a set of stairs and he gets down to one of the half landings and he looks over to his right and you can see that there's another labeled door that says 3.5 on it. And you can just hear the sound of static coming from it. And he looks confused at it. He pulls out a flashlight and goes to open up the door, which is where we'll cut for tonight.
Nice. All righty.
Next week. That's agreed.
Sounds good.
Yeah, next week we'll wrap this one up. Oh man, this was a good one. Good one indeed. Looking forward to it. Found out during this session that we're not going to have a Tales from the Loop tomorrow, everybody. So if you were planning on watching Tales from the Loop, sorry, we're going to run a rerun. We've got some players that can't make it for various reasons, unfortunately. So we're going to have to postpone next Tales from the Loop. But then next week we should be back to regularly scheduled programming, as everyone seems to be back next week and raring to go. So join us 4 times next week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for all of our programs and shows that we do, including the wrap up. Oh, hi, doggo, of this KSL mission.
It's Wash.
Yes. Aw, he's too cute. All right, and with the guest appearance of Wash, we'll wrap it up here. So thanks again to our Patreon supporters, Aaron, Nathan, Two Wolf Design, and Lord Thorn. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. If you've enjoyed this show, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe tab, and ring the bell to get notified every time we go live. Check out all the links down in the description below, so to our merch, our Discord, our Patreon, all the fun stuff. Get your own KSL United Adventure Company hat or coffee mug or other merch that we have out there for KSL or any of the other shows that we do. And don't forget, Welcome Home will be starting back after the summer is over. So we can't wait to get back into Welcome Home. We're writing the 3rd season right now for that. Should be really, really good. Until next time, folks, we are United Adventure Company. This is Delta Green. KSL Adventures. Knowledge is suffering. Competence is a liability. And truth is whatever the handler tells us it is. Until next time, folks, take it easy and don't let the boogeyman get you. See ya.